In January 2026, Greenland, the vast Arctic island and autonomous territory of Denmark, has suddenly become a central focus of global geopolitical attention. At the heart of the controversy are strategic security concerns, rare earth minerals, and international tension sparked by U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed push to negotiate control or influence over the territory. Greenland is enormous, covering over 2 million square kilometers, but sparsely populated, with about 57,000 residents. It sits in a strategically important position between North America and Europe, above the Arctic Circle, and has been recognized by defense and security analysts as key to monitoring and responding to military activity in the far north. Beyond geography, scientists and industry experts say Greenland is rich in critical minerals, including rare earth elements, a group of metals essential for modern technologies such as electric vehicles, wind turbines, smartphones, and defense systems. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that Greenland's rare earth reserves are among the largest in the world outside China, which currently dominates production and refining of these materials. Despite this potential, Greenland currently produces no rare earths because mining is difficult, costly, and constrained by infrastructure limitations and harsh environmental conditions. Trump's diplomacy, tariffs, and negotiations. Earlier this month at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, President Trump made headlines by calling for immediate negotiations with Denmark to discuss the possibility of the United States acquiring Greenland. He insisted the U.S. would not use military force to do so, and said the aim was tied to national security rather than simply resource extraction. Before this, Trump had threatened to impose tariffs on European NATO allies that opposed U.S. plans for Greenland, a move that significantly strained transatlantic relations. However, he later backed off those tariff threats after claiming that a framework of a future deal had been agreed with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. That framework would include cooperation on military security and mineral rights, though it does not yet address Greenland's political status or whether ownership would change hands. International reactions and local resistance. The U.S. push has drawn sharply critical responses from European allies and from people living in Greenland itself. Greenlandic leaders and Danish officials have repeatedly stated that Greenland is not for sale and emphasized the territory's autonomy. Many Greenlanders also oppose outside attempts to dictate their future, with protests under the slogan "Hands Off Greenland" taking place in both Greenland and Denmark. Internationally, lawmakers and analysts have voiced concern that aggressive tactics, including economic threats, could damage trust among NATO partners and undermine long-standing alliances. Rare earth minerals, strategic prize or long game. Rare earth elements have become a strategic priority for governments around the world because they are indispensable to modern technology and defense, but are hard to source from stable, non-Chinese supply chains. Greenland's deposits include many of these elements, but experts caution the island's resources are difficult to access and decades away from being commercially viable. This means that while Greenland's minerals are geopolitically important, tapping them will require massive investment, infrastructure development, environmental approvals, and cooperation with local communities, not simply political pressure or territorial negotiation. What happens next? As of late January 2026, it remains unclear what form any agreement on Greenland will take. Trump's framework announcement has reduced immediate tensions with European allies, but it has not resolved core questions about sovereignty or long-term control. Denmark maintains that Greenland remains part of its kingdom, and negotiations, if they continue, will need to involve Greenland's government and people directly. What is clear is that Greenland's strategic importance, whether for defense, minerals, or Arctic geopolitics, is rising, and that the world will be watching closely as discussions unfold between the U.S., Denmark, Greenland, and other global stakeholders.